Hey guys, RPM here. All right, this video, I just wanted to go through my Hive OS of all of my mining rigs, my GPU mining rigs, and just figure out how much money I'm losing every day, right? We're just going to go to what to mine. We're also going to compare my cost per kilowatt hour, how much money I'm spending every day on electric. I'll just tell you right now, my cost per kilowatt hour is 0.08 cents USD. In Canadian, that would be about 11 cents Canadian. Okay, I'm on farm rate of where I live, so just in case anyone's wondering, I'm just going to go through this and we're just going to figure out, of course, going to what to mine and putting in the exact hash rate and power consumption of my mining rigs and just seeing how much they're making, or losing currently. And just to do a comparison of also what if, people say, Red Panda, why don't you just buy the coin? And I'm just going to go through a couple of food for thoughts and, what it takes for me personally to go through to buy a coin or send money to an exchange or something like that. Okay, I'm just going to go through a lot here, just some perspective. And I know everyone's, depending on where you live, it may, the fees may be different, but I'm just going to go through some stuff here. And so let's segue to our sponsor. Operating for over 5 years, Bitcap is one of the premier ASIC and GPU hosting services in North America. Powered by 100% renewable energy, they've got the best pricing for hosting your hardware. With live customer support, 16 hours a day, and an uptime performance agreement, you can feel confident and secure your miners are working their best. One of the first to offer small and large-scale immersion-cooled hosting options, Bitcap allows clients to easily push their compatible ASIC hardware to the peak performance. Visit bitcap.co to learn more and get energized today. Okay guys, so in my Hive OS right now, you guys can see all of my rigs that I have currently. So these two, Octominer 03 and number 12, these are all A2000s. One of them is a modded A2000 rig and the other one is just stock A2000s, all 6GB cards. Then from here to here, Octominer B09 to 10, these are all RTX 3070s mining Flux, okay? And then I have a 5700 XT that's mining Flux. Then these tower rigs are all my 6600 XTs. And I am mining Meowcoin and also Neoxa with these rigs. Okay, so you can see what I'm currently mining right now, just to let you all know. Okay, so now let's go through. First, my cost per kilowatt hour is about 11 cents Canadian or 0.08 USD. Okay, so with that, I've already entered that into Hive OS. So for me, for the cost of all of my rigs right now is around, I'm going to say around $17 to $18 a day, okay, USD. And the reason why I say a little bit more is because some of my rigs here are not in Octominers, okay, so Octominers do show the true power consumption at the wall. So for example, if I went to this rig here, if I went down here, you can see in Octominers, you can see the power consumption of each of the power supplies. And I have verified this at the wall. Okay, so this is the true power consumption here. I just want to take note of that. But if we just go back here, I do have some rigs not in Octominer. So my tower rigs are just on regular, open air rigs. And so these 6600 XT rigs actually take about almost 2000 watts for all 4 of these rigs combined. We've already done a video on that. So that's all about 2000 watts. So add another couple hundred watts here. That's why I said $17 to $18 a day. So let's do just a quick calculation here. So about $18 a day times 30 days. So that would be about $540 a month that I would be spending on electric right now. And just to let you all know, I am not selling any of these coins that I'm mining. I am planning on holding them all for long term. Okay, just to clarify that. So am I okay to pay for this every month? Yes, $540. I run this YouTube channel full time. I make money from YouTube, sponsors, advertising, all that kind of stuff. So I'm able to not only, expense that for my mining, but I'm also expensing that through my YouTube altogether. So I am okay to pay this out of pocket. And this is something that I also did in the previous bear markets, the previous bear market, 2018, 2019, when I didn't have a YouTube channel or anything at that time. I was working a full-time job. I had actually a second job as well to invest into crypto mining at the time. And I believed in the long term, and lo and behold, it worked out. Here we are today. So I'm still planning on doing the same strategy, even though it's a little bit different now. I don't have a full-time job, but my full-time job is now YouTube, and that's all thanks to you guys who watch my videos day in and day out. You guys are the ones who've been supporting me and everything. I really appreciate all of you guys so much. Anyways, with that, okay, just to understand, I pay $540 a month currently for all of these rigs for power. Okay, now let's go to figure out now how much each of these rigs are taking. Not each of these, but we're going to combine all the hash rate for Ergo, all the hash rate for Flux, all the hash rate for Meowcoin and Nyoxa. And I have 3 what to mine tabs open here with those hash rates already entered in. So let's do auto Lycos first, and that's for Ergo. Okay, we're gonna hit calculate, and this is the hash rate altogether for my A2000 rigs, just to let you guys know here. Okay, and the power consumption as well is about 2000 watts. Okay, I put in 0.08, hit calculate, and now we are, let's see here, losing, not making, but losing, it says here 0.76 cents a day, or I'm yielding 1.4 Ergo a day. So we have that number. Let's go to the next one. Okay, next one is Kapow. Okay, these are going to be, let's see, 211 mega hash at about 1000 watts. So the reason why I didn't put 400 mega hash, okay, it's because I'm splitting off here Meowcoin and Nyoxa. So if we go, which is pretty much the same amongst the other two rigs, vice versa. So if we go back to here, hit calculate at 8 cents, you can see here, okay, so for 2 of the rigs, I am about minus 14 cents a day. And then the other rig, which is mining Nyoxa, I am minus 31 cents a day for those 2 rigs. But the yield, you can see how much I'm yielding. Man, 2,200 Meowcoin a day. That's actually amazing. And then 600 or 700 Nyoxa a day for those 2 6600 XT rigs. Okay, so we have these numbers here. Now, the next one is the Flux, all the Flux rigs. Okay, so 2,222 hashes per second, or souls. And that's the power consumption of almost 5,200 watts at 8 cents kilowatt hour. We're going to hit calculate. And that's going to give me negative $2.15 a day. So one thing though to consider, okay, is the bonus rewards included by default, which it is, okay, current bonus parallel assets on what to mine. But just to verify here, okay, so this is my hash rate, 2,200 souls, okay, but included the parallel assets, okay, so 11.6, okay, that's every 24 hours estimated. And so if we go back to what to mine, that's pretty much the same that they calculated here. So fluxpools.net is correct on that, but then there is an unreleased parallel asset here. And if we click on that, that's going to give me pretty much another 3 flux. Okay, and you can see how it changes there for 7 days and 30 days as well. And so that's pretty awesome. We're going to talk about some speculation, of course, of the price in the future. That's basically why I'm holding long term. I think I explained that many videos before, but just to show you guys that real quick. Okay, so that's how much I'm losing a day currently. So what we're going to do now, we're going to open up the calculator. So we're going to go $2.15. We're going to calculate all the negative profit that I'm losing, just to show how much I'm losing currently. So let me just add this. So this was Flux. I'm losing $2.15 a day. We're going to add in now Kapow, which is 0.14 cents for Meowcoin, plus Nyoxa 0.31 cents. Okay, now we have to add in also the Ergo of how much I'm losing every day. Okay, that's 0.76 plus 0.76 cents a day. Okay, so I'm losing $3.36 a day at this point in time. Now, I'm going to times this by 30, just to show that I'm losing about $100 a month right now. So if we combine both of these, it'd be like, I'm losing 640 cents a day. But that's if I sold the coins that I'm yielding every day into this amount, which I'm not, right? That's why I told you guys earlier that I am holding this for the price appreciations of Meowcoin, Nyoxa, Flux. This is not financial advice, of course, right? Obviously, depends on when the markets recover, the whole world, economy, everything, interest rate rising, all these issues that we're having around the world. Until things get better, I don't think Bitcoin is going to go up anytime soon. I don't know. Who knows, right? It all depends. But now, this is where I wanted to get into. Now, people say, Red Panda, why don't you just buy the coin, right? Why don't you just buy the coin? And, first things first, I am a miner. I'm extremely addicted to crypto mining. For my whole thing, I would rather mine the coin than buy the coin. I also like the aspect of having the physical hardware instead of buying the coin, right? I'm kind of in a way lowering my risk in that sense, because, you know, if you just bought the coin, then that's it. You don't have anything anything behind it physically to hold its value, like a GPU. And I'm not saying that GPUs really hold their value. I mean, they can obviously in bull runs and stuff, but GPUs you can still sell to a gamer, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Just going back to the idea of why don't you just buy the coin? For me personally, where I live, okay, this is where I want to get into like fees and withdrawal fees, you know, deposit fees on exchanges. And for me personally, if I were to wire money outside or to an exchange somewhere to buy, right, you know, Flux or I don't know, Meow Coin, Neoxa, whatever, any of these, you know, lower cap coins that are a little bit harder to buy, they're not on, you know, not on all exchanges around the world, is that for me personally, if I were to send a wire out, it would cost me about $50. All right, so if I sent like a $500, I don't know, $1,000 wire, I'd have to spend $50 on that. Okay, so then let's go now to an exchange I really like to use, or one of the exchanges I like to use is ShakePay. ShakePay though, they have no fees for their wire transfer deposit, okay, for their incoming, and then for their outgoing, they don't have any fee for that either. Okay, this is not an ad or sponsored. I'm just going through, you know, a typical exchange example. So the way ShakePay makes money is they set the price for the Bitcoin or Ethereum that, you know, that you're planning on buying. At any point in time, there will be a small difference between price and customers can buy crypto and price at which they can sell. So look at this. There is, for them, it's like a $250 difference. You can see the spread there. And I've personally, you know, compared the Ethereum or Bitcoin that I wanted to buy on ShakePay or sell. And depending on how much, right, it can be a lot. And so just an example, if I were to buy $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, there would probably be another $50 spread on there for the exchange, for ShakePay, to help them cover the costs as a cost of doing business, right? And so this is just one example. I'm sure there are plenty of other exchanges out there that, you know, kind of have like, you know, I'm not saying hidden costs. Obviously, they're gonna express their fees, they're gonna express all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, you know, when it comes to, you know, trying to buy the coin, when you're trying to wire transfer or whatever transferring, and then you have let's say Binance, for example. So if we just click on fiat here, and if we scroll down to USD, for example, you can see, you know, if I wanted to bank transfer to Binance, it would be $0, right? They wouldn't charge a fee for depositing. But it goes back to, for me, my bank would charge me $50 to send, right? So I'm just saying, you know, there's that point there. But then with Binance, they have the fees for crypto, for trading fees. Okay, so once you get that Bitcoin, and let's say if I wanted to, you know, trade it into Flux or Ergo or something, right? Then you would see the maker taker fees here, trading fees. Okay, so there's a lot here. I'm not a trader. I don't really know all this kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, after all this, depending on what exchange, what I'm trying to just show you guys is that it's not just, you know, why don't you just buy the coin? And sure, you could, but there are going to be associated fees of sending fiat to an exchange and trading fees and all that kind of stuff. So could that amount to all that my rigs are losing currently, which is about, I don't know, $100 a month that I'm losing with all this? Does it make sense for me at this point in time? At my cost per kilowatt hour, is it okay for me to keep going, right? Is it okay for me that I am, you know, I'm losing potentially, which, like, again, I haven't sold the crypto, so I'm not technically losing. And then the end all be all consideration here is I am hoping that the coins that I'm yielding right now, okay, at least, you know, somewhat breaking even, versus the fees, like I said, for banks, is that these coins, such as Flux, for instance, that I'm mining, Ergo, Meow Coin, Neoxa, that they could go up again in the future. And so I know for taxes and stuff, this is another thing I wanted to get into, is for taxes, the coins that I'm yielding right now, you know, Ergo, Flux, Meow Coin, Neoxa, I have to pay that initial cost basis, right? I have to pay tax on that based on my tax bracket, of course. But of course, right, I can expense the electric, right? I can expense the electricity, the $540 that I'm spending every month, and also whatever other expenses I have, like buying the GPUs, my internet, phone, you know, all that kind of stuff that I'm running as a business, instead of just buying the coin and the only taxes that you get is the capital gains of if you sold it for more, or capital loss if you sold it for less. Obviously, nobody's going to sell for less unless you really need the money and whatever your financial situation is. So this flux that I'm, for example, flux, if, this flux that I'm yielding right now, let's just go to the calculator. Okay, so if I, technically after the new parallel assets unreleased, right? Obviously I'm not selling, but just an example, right? So 14, let's just say 437 flux, right? Times, what's the price of flux right now? It is about 71 cents USD. Okay, so times 0.71 equals $310 at this point in time. Okay, I'm not including Ergo, Flux, and Yoxa, but just an example. Okay, what if Flux then, just speculating here, what if the next run up, the next Bitcoin cycle, whatever, is that Flux could go back up to higher than $2 or $3. Okay, $3 USD. Okay, so let's take that 310 Flux. Okay, 437 Flux, 437 Flux times $3. That would then be worth $1,300. Okay, $1,311. So that's if I hodled it all the way up until now. Okay, so that's how much I'm technically mining. We're to say if I'm technically mining every month. Okay, so after all that, I think that this is still a great way that I could consider that this for mining for me personally is that I can win out in this way. I know, again, with buying the coin, the same thing, the same idea applies, that you're just waiting for the price to go up and you're gonna sell it. Yeah, that's totally fine. Also, another thing to consider with buying the coin, you don't have to worry about setting up your mining rigs, the headaches of all this kind of stuff, tuning, overclocking, setting up, building your rigs. There's a lot of time, to consider in doing that, right? And so if your time is worth more than versus buying the coin, then obviously buying the coin might make sense for you. Personally, for me, I love this as like a hobby, but I run it as a business. But I love building mining rigs. I love computer hardware. This is essentially my hobby. So that's why really another thing that I love doing, mining versus just buying the coin. Now, if you're like a non-technical person, non-IT, and you don't like building computers or anything like that, then yeah, you're probably going to buy the coin. That's probably going to be for majority of the people out there that are not, IT inclined, building mining rigs and going through the trouble of doing all this. Yeah, I mean, you guys know I'm a YouTube channel, and my whole content is doing all this kind of stuff. Anyways, guys, I think I don't know if I really got down to the really bottom end of, versus mining or buying the coin, but at my current situation right now versus what I'm yielding off all these coins here, and I'm still positive of what's to come in the future. Obviously, I know right now it seems pretty bleak with the current state of the market, and I know everyone's pretty negative about it, but honestly, like I said, for those that are working full-time jobs, you got to figure out more ways to make more income to invest in this kind of thing if you believe that what you're doing is going to go up in the price in the future, right? That's really all this is. A lot of people are doing this for, right? And so anyways, guys, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. If I'm wrong, let me know down below, or right, or something I got wrong, or something that I'm not considering. Let me know down below. I just want to give some food for thought here. This is nothing set in stone. I didn't give any concrete numbers of withdrawal fees, wire fees. Or everyone's wire fee is different, I'm sure. Exchange fees, depositing fees. Big picture thinking of, after all that, is it really worth versus mining at this point in time? So, all right, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace out.